The number of lobsters caught in the Gulf of Maine is way up in recent years, and this is a big deal. Maybe it doesn't seem like a big deal because they're all underwater and you can't see them, but think about if it was a big increase of something you could see, like squirrels. One year you have a couple squirrels in your backyard, no big deal. Next year you have 10 squirrels living back there. Okay. You notice it's getting a little crowded. The acorns are all eaten from under the tree. Then, over the next 10 years or so, your backyard and every other yard in the neighborhood have hundreds of squirrels. It might be time to figure out why there are so many squirrels. So now back to lobsters. It's important to figure out what's going on with lobsters because it could mean the whole ocean system is changing, or is out of whack, and it could affect more species than just lobsters. Also, the lobster fishery gives a lot of people in New England their jobs, and the sale of lobsters brings in hundreds of millions of dollars every year. So, there are a record number of lobsters in the water. What could cause this increase? Are lobstermen farming lobsters? What does that even mean? This could be possible because lobstermen use a huge amount of bait, often herring, to catch lobster, so obviously lobsters like to eat herring, but what do they normally eat? Well, mussels, crabs, other lobsters, pretty much anything that's on the seafloor. So if they normally have to spend energy to catch food, but now they're getting food brought to them, maybe that's an advantage. We also know that lobsters can get in and out of traps fairly easily. We've seen this on underwater videos. So they could be increasing in numbers due to all the free meals. And that's what we mean by farming lobsters. How can we tell if lobsters are getting free meals from all the herring bait? And if they are, how do we know that that is why there are so many lobsters? We use several types of experiments, both in the laboratory and out in the ocean, to try and answer these questions. We looked at lobster stomach contents to see what they were eating. And we looked at the chemical signals in their meat to see what they had been eating, even if their stomachs were empty. We also measured their length to see how much they were growing. We compared results from lobsters that we caught in two specific areas. One area is heavily fished, so there was a lot of herring bait in the water, and the second area was close to fishing, so it didn't have any herring bait. At the end of the study, we learned that herring bait may be up to half of the diet for lobsters that live in heavily fished areas, so it's a really important food source for them. We also learned that lobsters that live in areas with a lot of bait in the water grow up to 16% faster than in areas without bait. Since most areas in New England have a lot of lobster traps and a lot of bait, this could mean lobsters are growing faster everywhere. This study showed that herring bait is helping lobsters be successful and grow, but by themselves these results can't explain why there are so many lobsters. It is important to think about what other factors may also be involved, like water temperature, other food availability, or other rules that lobstermen follow to protect the stock of lobsters. One last conclusion is that there are definitely links between these two species, herring and lobster, and that changes in one stock affect the other. This is something that fishery managers should think about when they make fishing rules for the upcoming years. This idea is called ecosystem-based management, and it encourages people to think about the connections between species rather than thinking about each species by itself.